Yeah, we gotta do this. All right. This is probably going to be a short episode anyway.
Are you sure? Because I added a lot to the outline.
Never mind. Take it back.
Welcome to Bonus Experience. We're a podcast with a deeper look at the play experience and the finer details of running and writing games.
We are queer people speaking with authority about games.
And yes, we swear.
You can.
I'm mad about it. Wait,
very
what?
Good. That was very good. I said, and
Hey.
you can, and then you said, I'm mad about it, and it made it like a whole thing. That was
we
great.
Didn't even coordinate that.
We
that
didn't
was
coordinate
all
that.
Off the cuff.
Serendipity.
I'm Ray,
Hey.
an industry professional.
Yes.
I write fiction, setting, narrative, and as of Exalted Essence, I write a little bit of system now too.
Yeah. I'm proud of you. I'm Monica. I'm also an industry professional. And I do the same things, but in a different order.
It's true. And we are big gay nerds.
Yep.
And
big gay nerds. That's gonna be our new shirt.
Big gay nerds.
Big
and
gay
we're going
nerds.
to talk about something near and dear to our weirdly horny hearts. How to include romance and relationships in your games.
We are in firm agreement that all games are better when you can kiss in them. So let's go.
Let's go.
You have the first answer, so I think I will ask you questions.
Okay.
This is probably going to be a pretty 50-50 episode, even though my points are pretty short.
Sure.
That's mostly just because I was trying to put stuff down before I had to run out.
This is an episode that I've wanted to do for so long, but haven't found the impetus to do so. And then I finally purchased and read Thirsty Sword Lesbians, and I was like, let's fucking go. I'm ready.
Thirsty Sword Lesbians is really going to be the poster child for this episode. It's fantastic. And if you are interested in romance and intimacy in your games, it is a must-have for your shelf. We'll get into that later.
Absolutely.
So maybe we should start by defining what we mean by romance here.
So romance is an emotional connection of an intimate nature. You know, it's the stuff you share with a select group of people rather than the world at large. It's, it's longing and pining and shit. It's, it's, makes you feel kind of embarrassed and shy a little bit. And, wanting to feel safe and vulnerable with someone. The good stuff. The romantic stuff.
Yeah. I think that's also that an emotional connection of an intimate nature. That's a very good definition. I was like, good. Very good. I think it's important to touch on the fact that when we're talking about romance and intimacy through this whole episode, we don't mean sexual content. They are not the same thing.
Right.
They're often
Those are not
related.
like a one-for-one.
Right.
Yeah, the one can lead to the other.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily mean that they're interchangeable.
Right. And so when we were talking about including romance and that sort of thing in your games, we are specifically talking about intimacy and vulnerability and feelings of love, but we're not talking about sex specifically right now.
Big feelings.
Yes.
Big complicated emotions.
Yes. Intimacy means being close to someone, which can include just wanting to hold hands and cuddle, or doing the cat thing where you just kind of want to be generally near a person you hate less than everyone else.
Right, exactly. The romantic cat stuff. Also, and then at the other end of the spectrum, it's, all the fanfiction stuff for messy bitches like me. All the tropey nonsense, oh no, there's only one bed. Oh no, we have to fake date. Oh no, for some reason, I cannot tell you how deeply I feel for you, and I will foreshadow this through my actions. It's all hooks, baby. It's all story prompts. It's all drama, and it drives character through your story, and it's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That leads us pretty nicely into why should we do this? Why
It's
should someone include it?
It's interesting.
Yeah, okay.
It's exciting and it's interesting.
Yeah.
And We love excitement and interest. We're so easily bored here at Bonix Experience. It develops your character in a completely different way. It can highlight different facets of your story. It can just honestly just be fun for people. It's fun. It's fun. Shut up and do it.
I think being emotionally invested in a game makes it better. Now, this is strictly my opinion. I personally have a hard time engaging if there isn't another character I really give a fuck about, which can also be another one of the PCs, but I usually prefer to like adopt an NPC. This guy's mine. And I'm not really using this episode to impose my own thoughts on other people. I'm just putting out there that I personally feel it really enhances a game to have a love interest or a bestie or a queer platonic partner or whatever, someone to be connected to. It honestly doesn't matter to me how cool the setting is if I don't have someone to share it with. Which I said that and then I was like, oh, that's so hopeless romantic of me.
Yeah, I've really come to terms with the fact that I'm just a fucking sap. Like over the last 20 years of my life, I tried to be like, nah, I'm tough. I'm so practical, and love is only. No, I'm like, no, I've been lying to myself this whole time. I really am just a fucking sap.
It's okay to be sappy.
And I mean, like I was ranting about earlier, including romance and intimate relationships as part of your arcs in your plot or with your character, it's just a specific flavor of hook, and some people get into it. Love and romance can drive characters to make really interesting dramatic choices. Some people really enjoy the bleed they get from role-playing these reactions, and we haven't talked about this too much, but bleed is not bad. Don't be afraid of bleed. It's the same reason that people like to read romance novels or see romantic comedies. It's just another aspect of a story, and it's another way for characters to interact with each other and drive the drama.
Yeah.
Monica.
Yes.
Have you experienced this personally?
I mean, I have, and I actually had written some stuff down. The first things that come to mind immediately are Exalted, which surprises no one. But I had
all of my examples are Exalted.
To just use a non-Exalted example, because this, like I said earlier, it literally makes every game better for me. I just had the most wonderful disaster girlfriend and rival in Blades in the Dark.
Oh yeah,
I feel like I talked about that before. Like, how Blades in the Dark has the up and down arrows for your ally and rival, which is my favorite part of the Blades in the Dark playbooks. Yes. And so I picked the positive one, and oh fuck, I'm blanking on her name. I'd have to go dig my sheet out. But it was like, so and so, she's into me, and then the down one where I was like, so and so, she's into me. And so good. Yeah, it was great. So one of them was my current girlfriend and the other one was my ex, and when your ex is the person with the description a cold killer, it makes it that much better when she shows up to murder you.
Yes.
And it had that cool thing. I was playing the cutter, and I think I've talked about before in Blaze in the Dark how, like, especially in that game, I just had the best dice luck. Like, I progressed super fast, mostly because I hit the, like, did you do these things in every episode thing? Not because I missed rolls. Like, that character almost never missed. Just 5s and 6s, like, the whole time, which made them seem more badass than they actually were. And so I was playing this, like, ex-killer who's now turning to this different life of crime to not be a murderer anymore, and just the fantastic moment of, like, your serial killer ex-girlfriend who's like, you've gone soft as you're knocking her out and throwing her in the trash, which is literally, you're not gonna kill me. And my character was like, you're right, I'm not, but I am gonna humiliate you. And then proceeded to knock her out, tie her up, and then leave her literally in a trash heap. Like,
oh my God.
Just found a refuse pile in an alley somewhere and was just like, have fun. Now that was just a good example of, like, a relationship which was previously intimate, but it was contrasted very nicely by also having a positive, good relationship with another NPC, whose name, of course, I am blanking on right now, who we had a very good, positive, and healthy relationship with. And the contrast of both having this one character who was fucking awful and this other character who was wonderful really made it better.
When I think about favorite characters I've played, they are almost immediately connected to another PC or NPC, because I get a lot out of that. I'm like Monica, where it's, it's hardly worth playing if I can't figure out a romance arc for my character. And all of my examples are Exalted, because Exalted is my favorite, and some of my most emotional games were Exalted games. So I had mostly PCs, honestly, with a few NPCs, like in, oh god, what was the name of the game we played in Nexus on Fridays?
Fridays in Nexus?
Was it just Fridays in Nexus? Fridays in Nexus. I had Jade River, and she kind of accidentally hooked up with the NPC Zenith. But then I also had like a really interesting relationship between her and the Dawncast, because they were both like constantly at each other's throats, so they had like this weird like sibling like love-hate going on, which was fun. Then there was the Metro game, which was like Exalted Modern. There was something going on between my Nightcast and did Vivian play a Twilight?
I think Isaac was a Twilight, yes.
Isaac was a Twilight, yeah.
Pretty
that
sure.
was great, because they were both like,
there was a lot of summoning involved,
socially inept. Yes.
Yeah.
And I prefer coming to a game with an eye toward a romantic arc, and I try to clue the GM in on that in some way, and sometimes that's as simple as pointing to an NPC that H just introduced and saying, "Can that be my lunar mate?" Which works out historically. Yeah, it's I almost every game that I've been really into has been one where my character has some sort of a romance around them in some way. It's fun. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to apologize. It's fun.
Okay. Well, yes, we are both in agreement that relationships are fun.
Yes.
But what if people playing in the game don't want to do that? What if they don't want to kiss?
Well, if you're not into kissing, which is fine.
Which is fine.
Some people don't like that.
No, it's okay.
We support you. You're valid. There are other ways to express emotional conflict that are still exciting and interesting. You can have familial relationships, or platonic friendships, or relationships of mutual respect, and these can all be tested by the plot or by other relationships in the game. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sexually intimate relationship or even a romantically intimate relationship. Anything that has the potential to draw like strong emotions out of your character, that has the potential to have these interesting like relationship arcs.
Found family.
Found family.
I really don't think familial relationships get nearly enough love.
Yeah.
Especially like I know it's become more popular lately, but like not nearly enough love for like my character is an older gay, and they are very close with this other character who is basically their baby gay, and they are very emotionally intimate with each other, but it is not a sexual relationship.
Yeah. No, it's closer to like a mentor or parental.
Yeah, this is not actually a player character thing, but I think immediately of the relationship between Catherine and Lysithea from Three Houses. Totally unrelated relationship.
Yeah.
Which is like purely, they clearly love each other dearly, and it is purely a platonic relationship that is familial. Like, not nearly enough of that. I love that kind of relationship.
Yeah, me too. I get into that stuff too.
Yeah, which rolls right into my point that I have on the outline, which is that I'm of the opinion players should let their characters be open to emotional intimacy, which does not need to be romantic or sexual. See the example I just cited. It is neither of those things. Have a best friend. Have a platonic life mate. Have a friend who's like your sibling. Have a baby gay. Have a parent gay. Have a found family. Don't be scared to get close to another character, especially not someone else's PC.
Yeah.
The platonic life mate, queer platonic partners was the word I was looking for there, which is the good shit.
There you
go. Yes.
And you know, everybody's got jokes about their players collecting NPCs, but like that's what this is. That's what this is about. It's about PCs giving a shit about someone else in the setting. It gives them hooks, it gives them connections to the game, it gives everyone something fun to explore and talk about and bounce off of, and none of that has to include kissing stuff.
No.
And if you okay, hey guys, hey, it's me, Ray speaking. Hey everyone, listen. Turning my chair around. Hey kids. if you want to explore a relationship, romantic or otherwise, between your PC and someone else's PC, you should talk to them about it first, and maybe make sure your table isn't going to be totally weirded out by it. And why don't we discuss why and how after the break?
After these messages, we'll be right back. BXP and the mid-episode break room are brought to you by the Misdirected Mark Network.
Bing!
Thank you. Become a BXP patron. Patrons get to chat with us directly, special Discord roles, and exclusive hangouts. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, and we appreciate all your support.
Always and forever.
If you'd rather support BXP without committing to monthly payments, you can still buy a coffee. ko-fi.com/bonusexp and buy our stuff. Go to bxpcast.com/bxpswag and check out our merch page, which includes a link directly to the Nerdy Kepi collection, who we are sponsored by. You can get all kinds of rad queer swag. Remember to use code BXPcast at checkout for 10% off. Never expires, and we also get a little bump too if you use that code to buy our stuff. We have some mugs.
I didn't realize that we would actually get a little cut of that.
Yeah,
yeah, we get like a couple of quarters.
We do. We get a couple quarters, which add up. So buy them. We got a T-shirt that says Margaret with an exclamation point. We got a T-shirt that says Die Mad About It, which comes in BXP purple. We got a T-shirt that's a very cool looking black and white scatter pattern of our logo.
Oh yes.
We got a travel mug with the same pattern on it. We got all kinds of little doodads and knickknacks you can get with the LaCroix parody logo. That says BXP, but it looks like a can of LaCroix. You can get that on a keychain bottle opener, or a fidget spinner, or a magnet, or a pin. I think it also comes on a mug. I don't remember.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Listen, we have a lot of stuff, and maybe when Spider is no longer on vacation, we can maybe add some new stuff.
Yeah.
Someone requested a bigger mug.
Oh, yes.
Got a request for a bigger mug. Maybe we could commission Spider to do a Big Gay Nerd shirt.
That would be great.
I don't think that would be very hard to convince them to do that.
No, I think they could find a market for that.
Yeah. If there are other things you would like to see in the BXP store, our launch was very successful, and we do make a little bit of money every month because people buy our stuff. That's awesome. Let us know. You can email us. We'll give you all that at the end.
Saying nice things is always free. You could leave us a good review on Apple Podcasts or Podbean or Google or Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google or Podbean or...
Yeah, one of those places.
YouTube.
Help us get more listeners.
The newspaper. It gets us more listeners. If you like Bonus Experience, you'll also like The Lounge. Doc finds the best, the brightest, the most fun game designers and sits down to have a cool chat with them. Cool chat. Every time I get to that part, I get weird. I do it in like a mom voice, just a cool chat. You never know what conversation's going to come up in the copy for The Lounge.
Know also that if you I think Misdirected Mark reopened their advertising, which does include an advertising bump on Bonus Experience. Please be aware that if you pay for a spot on Bonus Experience, we're gonna do that to your ad.
Yeah, we'll mess it up real good.
We are gonna fuck up the copy and then editorialize in the middle, which may be what you're paying for, but buyer beware.
Maybe you're into that. I don't know why else you would want to advertise on our hot mess of a show, but there you go.
We do have an audience, and a really decent one for a non-AP show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Every so often,
don't get me wrong,
nobody listens to us, and then I'm like, we are not an AP show, and for a non-AP show, we are extraordinarily popular.
We're doing pretty fucking good for that, yeah.
Yeah,
and now we're talking about doing APs again anyway. So
I mean, that's probably gonna be a sideshow.
Yes,
it's not gonna be part of the BXP thing, but it will be featuring.
It takes a long time to do an AP.
Yeah, it will be featuring BXP, sort of the way Systematic Understanding was. It's probably gonna be a collab with those,
right?
With our friendos, our sisters, Cherry and Taz. I just called them Cherry and Taz.
Cherry and Aunt Cherry and Uncle Taz.
Spoonerism to that.
Don't ask me who's who. I have no idea.
Our sisters, Chaz and Terry. Fuck.
Right.
Okay. And now back to our show.
That's no less accurate. All right, so where are we now? What's going on?
How do we get people on board with a romance, but like don't force them?
Yeah, don't force them. That's gross.
Yeah, it's really gross.
So, as a player, talk to your table, talk to the other player involved potentially, and or your GM if there's no other player involved. This doesn't need to be a big, serious, here are my passions, I'm looking for someone imaginary who likes pina coladas. And you don't have to, like, make it weird, you know? Like, you don't have to go into detail. But you do let them know that you're like, I'd really like to explore a romance plotline or have a deep relationship, like, with my character or something. Or, I mean, specifically say you do not want to be involved in a romance plotline, as the case may be. Just being upfront with everyone is honestly the best way to go and is just general advice for like anything, really. And you may realize that some of the players at your table might even need to use like a safety tool and you never realized it. Like you could bring this up and they could have like caveats basically. Remember the safety tool refrain, no one has to explain or justify themselves. If they're like, yeah, sure, but please avoid insert relationship dynamic here at the table, then be a cool dude and agree to that.
Yeah, those are all the big points. I think you got all the like super important bases covered. Respect consent.
Yeah.
Just to reinforce that. And you know, talk to each other, which is non-advice, but hey, it does work. I promise. Getting people
that's like
on
not even 101, that's like 99 remedial.
Right. Yeah. It's summer courses that you are taking to make up for time. Getting people on board has worked for me in the past by designing NPCs that are specifically bait for certain people. Sometimes I do this on purpose. Like sometimes I know exactly I got your number and I am calling it. And sometimes it's because I just made a guy I wanted to kiss and other people have the same taste.
I don't know which, like, okay, so flashing back to Fridays and Nexus, the two characters I most wanted to smooch were Jadis, obviously, because River ended up with her, and then Svad's sister, Mahasparna. Yeah. Which bucket did those fall into?
They were both introduced pretty early in the game, if I recall correctly.
They were both Svad-related characters, too. Yeah, like, I think you made them specifically for H, and then I was like, well...
So, Jadis was really just sort of like a PC I would have played. Because H wanted a solar... Like, H was just like, give me all the enemies. I have taken all the points that make everyone hate me. And
That's
I was
right.
like, yes.
Jadis was like H's enemy.
Yeah, Svad had... like both enemy and rival, I think, because they were two different things.
Yes.
And Svad's Fairfolk siblings were the enemy, and I think Jadis was the rival.
No, I think it was the other way around, because didn't Svad, like, destroy Jadis's home or something?
Right, okay, it may have been
like,
the other way around.
Good reason.
Because she wanted to kill him, as opposed to just make his life difficult.
And
because
like,
rival was
all
about
the party
like,
showed up,
right? Because enemy was someone who fucking hates you and wants to kill you.
Yes,
and rival was someone who's just in the way. So given the way Maha behaved, you're right. So here comes this enemy, this solar, who's just like a solar I would have played, just like this revenge-driven lesbian.
Just a fuck you zenith.
Yeah, just like a fuck you zenith.
Revenge-driven lesbian.
With a big cool weapon that did something weird, like she could fly around on it.
Yes.
Which is totally something I would do. So that was just like, this is a concept that I would play, that I turned into an NPC, which I do a lot. And Maha was like, I want to fuck that.
She's big and naughty.
The type of NPC where you're like, this is the thing that also turns me on. Here you go. It's horny for me. I'm not going to be weird about it, but like, know that this flips my switch, and it flipped everybody else's switch too.
Who else is into this?
Yep. Some crank turning happening. Turns out a lot of you. So like that was mostly just that was happenstance. I didn't really aim those. You know my friend Sean, right?
Yes.
I have aimed at him before in other games. Like Like, oh, I know I can get Sean on board with this if I bus ticket him with the kind of character I know he likes. I have his number and I'm calling it, and it works every time. Like, yeah, yep. This is just bus ticketing both characters.
We gotta, like, this is making me so nostalgic, and it's honestly making me want to, like, make you run a game. Just, I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
I don't care what game.
I have
Just
an
fuck me
idea.
Oh.
I finally have a campaign idea, but we can talk about that after.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the next point on the outline is just rules? Question mark, for smooching? Question mark.
Yep.
All right. This is the part where we just start talking about Thirsty Sword Lesbians, right?
Yes, this is just what I'm gonna get my copy. Hang on.
Okay, I've got my PDF loaded up already.
Right. I backed it, so I got a hard copy. It's beautiful.
Can we talk about how fucking good it is?
Yes.
Like, hey everyone, I'm like a year and a half late. Thirsty Sword Lesbians is really good.
Yeah. It is extremely stylish.
God, it's so good. It's a good looking book. It's got good looking rules. And it's all about smooching, as you might have guessed from the name of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna use Thirsty Sword Lesbians as like the pinnacle example.
I mean, there's even like in the very beginning of the book, there's like a list of here's ways you can flirt with each other.
Yeah,
it's very good.
I flipped straight to heartstring moves as like real good examples of intimacy and romance moves in a game.
Yes.
The how to flirt is also pretty fucking fantastic.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what page that's on.
There's a
few flirting ideas. Only some of these are good ideas in real life.
I don't know, like I think most of them are great ideas.
Especially
do crimes together.
Yeah, offer to share food or drink, great idea in real life.
Yeah.
Meet their eyes, then blush and look away, also great idea in real life.
Yes, good.
Yep. Wipe
pretend
a smudge.
to be married to each other as part of a cover story. It's good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Tilt their chin up with the point of your sword, also fantastic real life advice.
Toss your hair in slow motion. Flower petals encouraged. They understood the assignment. All right. Yeah. It's a very good game, y'all.
Yeah, it is.
And one of the reasons that we immediately went to like, we have to talk about Thirsty Sword Lesbians if we're going to be talking about this is because the game puts so much emphasis on feelings, not necessarily just romantic feelings, but this is a game that's very interested in how your character is feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still going to ask you, okay, what do you do? But as part of like most of the moves, you have to also describe how your character feels about what they're doing or how they're feeling while they're doing it.
I'm gonna read the feel deeply and powerfully and often section under the player's agenda, which like is kind of the manifesto for this game.
Mm-hmm.
This game invites you to feel the deep emotional conflict of your PC and care about the other characters in the game. This is a game about feeling things and forging relationships. Consider sharing your character's inner feelings so that the other players at the table can play into those feelings. For instance, if your character has the frightened condition and could use emotional support, they are more likely to get that support if you tell the other players what your character is feeling.
Yes.
Likewise, foster an environment where your fellow players feel safe exploring intense feelings and potentially difficult topics. See Safety and Consent, page 10.
And that's great for any game.
Yes.
which is why we've brought up this specific game at the end of our generic design episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a huge emphasis on feelings, not just in the player agenda, not just in like the moves and abilities, but even like the question moves, because this is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, or at least. Did they say that it's powered by the apocalypse?
I mean, okay. It's pretty much based on that, yeah.
Okay. So because of that, there are question moves, and the question moves specifically focus on your feelings. Like the questions are, how would you feel if I did blank? Or, you know, what are you feeling towards me right now? Or, you know, things like that. So feelings are like the focus. Even the conditions that you take on are all negative emotions that impact your stats as opposed to physical injuries. So you have frightened or hopeless or guilty. And those can only be cleared through either a support scene with another character or by like releasing it in a cathartic outburst. Like if you have the angry condition, then one of the ways you can clear it is to like break something important to you in a fit of anger.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that there's no possible way to take a physical injury in the game. It's just that the emotion connected to that injury is more important to the game's themes.
Yes.
Which I love so much. And then strings. Like you brought up like the heartstring moves.
Yes.
But strings as a currency is so interesting to me because strings are things that you earn via emotional scenes or like figuring each other out. And it's like a hook you have in someone else. Like I have this fate point that I can use, or I have this point of inspiration, you know, to use the common like stand-ins, I guess. But you can use those to like basically compel other people because you know something about them through the like intimacy that you've shared.
Yeah, if you're reading along at home, page 36, influence with a string describes what you can do when you have a string on someone, which I believe the strings are from Monster Hearts, if I recall correctly. Yeah. I'm sure Monster Hearts probably iterated on that from some other idea. Most game design ideas are repeated iterations of other things. But that's the game I'm most familiar with them from.
Yes.
So, at any time, spend a string on someone to do one of the following. Offer them an XP to do something. Don't spend the string if they refuse the temptation. Find out what it will take to get them to do what you want. For an NPC, spending the string means they may simply agree. Add 1 to your roll against them after rolling. The after rolling is super good.
Yeah.
Add or subtract 1 from any roll they make after rolling.
Yeah. So these are all great for like using like against NPCs, or if for some reason your PCs are like, you know, caught in some drama.
Mm-hmm. And I like the after rolling really makes it very mechanically impactful.
Yes.
Especially since subtracting 1 from the roll after rolling can turn a partial success into a miss.
Yes.
Yep.
or a mixed beat into a downbeat as they use it. And then on top of that, like just the heartstring moves in general, there's entice, which is how you gain strings on someone, or, you know, one of the options is they can get flustered and awkward, they can promise something they think you want, or they can give in to desire. And they even have like a whole bit on that, on like, listen, I know how it sounds, but giving in to desire doesn't necessarily mean that you'll start ripping each other's clothes off. Like it's, you know, they give in to something that they've been holding back, basically. There's the figure out a person. There's smitten. Smitten is great. Smitten is something you can take at any point. Like you can just say, I'm smitten with that person now. And as soon as you say you're smitten, which is always the player's choice, you explain why, and then they get a string on you. And there's like a question that you get to answer based on which playbook you're playing, based on which archetype you are. And it's not just as, because that might sound like, okay, well that sounds like a huge detriment to you, but it's not about like basically compelling yourself. You're signaling to the rest of the table that this is something your character is feeling. So it's not just I'm giving away this part of myself, or I'm giving someone else a string on me. You're also basically communicating to the rest of the table and communicating to the GM. That was hot as fuck. I want more of that. Please connect me to what just happened.
Yes.
Which is great in a romance game. Oh god. And then, okay, here's my very, very favorite move in the whole of the game, is called Finally Kiss in a Dangerous Situation.
Yes.
Which is specifically that if there's been a period of tension and you guys are in the middle of danger and you finally just give in and smooch each other passionately, you both get +1 ongoing to get to safety and protect each other. And it's fucking great. Oh my god. Perfect genre, perfect. Yes, Thirsty Sword Lesbians is great. There's a million amazing rules on how to smooch each other and how to make sure that it's fun and mindful and sexy. And we could talk about it just at the end of this episode as here's some example rules for how to smooch each other. But I really recommend that you also just buy Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Just buy it and have it. It's a good game. I'm probably gonna run it at some point.
There's also, since we talked about this earlier in the episode, Thirsty Sword Lesbians also has some really fantastic, what if not thirsty?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the entice move can relate to any kind of physical or emotional desire, and you can tweak it for a different focus on community connection instead of physical or romantic desires. Using this variant can be a non-romantic way to explore community connection, chosen family, and close friendships in the face of obstacles posed by the character's own emotional conflict and by the outside world. So that really ties into some of the stuff we were talking about earlier, because this is a fantastic game about feelings.
Yes. And there's a whole sidebar in here. I'm like, if you're gonna, kind of lean away from the romance and desire themes, then for the entice move, you can change it to be, instead of, given a desire or blush and look away or whatever, you can have them introduce you to a new potential friend, invite you to a social event, or proclaim their interest in being friends with you. So it becomes about the power of friendship and community as opposed to the power of your burning loins.
Yes.
I like that. Powered by burning loins.
And then has a whole bunch of alt rules for, like, playing it as a sports anime instead.
Yes!
Or a cooking competition, or roller derby, or whatever, which is great.
God, so good.
And then, what if not lesbians? What if you want to play other queer or marginalized people? And the answer is basically yes.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, no one's gonna break into your house and take your dice away.
Yeah. I wish I had thought about this a little bit more, so I could be like, I kind of wanted to do like a what does this mean design wise, because we're using these as examples, and then I didn't write it down like a genius.
Oh, you're so smart.
I'm just the smartest.
So brilliant and well prepared.
Yeah. I think Thirsty Sword Lesbians does a really good job in the way that we described and read these little samples of these moves, directing the game's play always towards this kind of emotional conflict, right? Like we can...
Yes.
Yeah, we just read them to you. You can point them out to, like, no, everything points the conversations you are having as players towards the outcome of finally a kiss in a dangerous situation, right? Like that's
right. Yes.
You're always building up towards that crescendo. And while Thirsty Sword Lesbians certainly leans towards bombastic, intense emotion, and like that's the point of playing this game.
Yes.
You could take inspiration from the way Thirsty Sword Lesbians pushes all play in that direction to do something more subdued.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All it would take is just honestly just changing the verbs around, changing the flavor around. It all comes down to like, how are you feeling? What conflicts can we draw from this feeling? And what great thing is going to happen when you finally act on those feelings? Like, as long as that's your core conflict, as opposed to, more like physically oriented game, like combat oriented games, which are like, what do we want? Why can't we have it? How can we solve this by fighting something?
I mean, they are Thirsty Sword Lesbians. There is a fair amount of sexy fighting.
Oh yes, but the fighting serves the relationships.
Yes.
Like crucially, it's the fighting is set dressing for your thirstiness, which is just so good.
Also,
it's everything I want in a game.
I absolutely adore all the playbook splat character designs.
Yes, the art is gorgeous. I'm so in love with, who is she? The Devoted. I love their sig for the Devoted. She's my favorite.
With her paladin armor with the peacock thing and the... Yes.
Her prosthetic, her paladin armor. She's got a unibrow. I'm into it.
Yeah. She's hot. They're all hot.
They're all hot, honestly.
I mean, I'm also really into the Octopus Lady Infamous.
I like the Trickster. She's got like some sort of like stomach mouth, and in one of the pictures when she's getting a smooch, her stomach mouth is also blushing. It's so good, y'all.
And the Seeker, she's being
Seeker.
Kissed in the final A Kiss in the Dangerous Situation, and I missed the stomach mouth blushing.
You
the
missed
first
it.
time.
Oh, it's like making a sheepish face. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. It's so good, y'all.
I'm also invested in the relationship of these two, like, Celt women. So it's the two people who are on the heartstring moves, the Entice. There's the cool Viking-looking lady with the braid, and then the pretty obviously like Irish-looking woman who's got like all the iron jewelry on and her plates and and then there's more pictures of them in like making eyes at each other through the whole book.
And then there's the really, really obvious all-female cast of Star Wars. Like Hannah and Lucia.
What page
and
is that
I
on?
think oh my god, where they're I was laughing at
Oh,
their
there they
examples
are.
all
Yes.
throughout the Hannah's hot as hell.
Yes.
I can't remember. Oh god.
There they are.
There's a scene where they're like fighting and oh god, where is it? Oh no, it's like their stand-in for Darth Vader is hilarious. Let me find it. Oh my god. Death Baron. Death Baron. Thank you, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, for my life. Oh god, thank you for the very gay, all girl Star Wars polycule. I'm a fan. Is that it? Are we done? Otherwise, this is just going to turn into like, let's just talk about Thirsty Sword Lesbians for 40 minutes. Monica, where can they find our show?
They can find our show at bxpcast.com, part of the Misdirected Mark Network.
Bing!
Thank you.
Could they email us?
They could email us.
Is that possible?
Yeah, they could email us. Email us with your favorite stories about someone you got to smooch.
Ah, yes.
We would love to hear it.
Thank you.
You can send in your listener mail to bonus.
I mean, in game, like not
not
real life. Don't do that.
Please don't. We mean imaginary only.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, not real stories. Please
I will live vicariously through you.
Please send listener mail to bonusexpcast@gmail.com.
Can I talk about how lucky if you have a significant other and you play games together and your significant other is like, yeah, our characters can roleplay out a romance arc. I'm living for you. I'm so happy for you. I have yet to have that experience and I'm so jealous. Treasure that, y'all. Treasure it. We're on Twitter, right? We have a Twitter?
Yeah, we have a Twitter. You can totally send your stories there too.
Yes.
Add us at bonusexpcast.
I'm on Twitter.
You're on
I don't
Twitter?
know if anyone... I'm on Twitter. Hey guys, look at me. I'm on Twitter. I'm Ray W. Cole on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter too.
What?
Yeah. Did you not see that yesterday? I was like, show me your Exalted OCs.
I did see that. I have to go through that thread now.
It's so good. One person was like, I'm gonna spam you, and I was like, okay. And then they sent like 6 posts with 4 pictures each.
Nice.
All of the same character. Like just different commissions, all of the same character.
Oh my god, yes. Perfect. Exactly what we wanted.
That person is on the art Discord, so you probably have already seen a bunch of pictures of that character because they fucking love that character.
Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm gonna go look.
Yeah, they're hot, so who cares?
Yeah.
Anyway, I am at
Twitter.
Zenith Sun. At Zenith Sun.
Send her more Exalted OC art.
Send me more Exalted OC art.
And I'm gonna keep making some Exalted OC art. I got some writing
keep
and some
making
drawing to do.
Exalted OC art. A bunch of people were like, I draw my own, is that okay? And I was like, fuck yeah, it's okay.
Yes. Do it. Send it. Okay, well, everybody get out.
Yeah, that's it. We did it. We wrapped up.
Yeah. We did it.
We did it.
Everybody get out. Change it if you want to.
Do I have to do this? Ugh, fine. Bonus Experience is written and produced by Monica and Ray, and edited by Margaret. Our logo and art is by Nino Studios. Find her on Facebook and Instagram. Our theme song is Reuse Noise with the Light by CDK, and is used under the Attribution Non-Commercial Creative Commons license. BXP is part of the Misdirected Mark Network. I'm not reading this. Fuck it. Bye.